Greetings. I'm Suzanne Titkemeyer. I used to write for No Longer Quivering for Pathos. Now I'm just doing my own thing here in Costa Rica. I'm enjoying the beauty of everything and getting to do different things. Today, I wanted to talk about the thing that everybody asks me about the most. I've addressed it a couple of times. I'm going to do an official video now. What do I do to my hair to make it grow and be strong like this and glistening? My biggest secret weapon, that could be your secret weapon, is organic coconut oil. I know you probably can't read the label. The label's all in Spanish, even if I had a decent enough camera so that you could see the label and read it. It's all in Spanish. This is just regular coconut oil in a bottle. The reason it's so liquid is it's hot here. It always stays like that here. Now, if I took it, when I take it to the States, it conglomerates. The other thing that I use that's my secret weapon here, that I don't even know if you can get in the States. I haven't seen it. I tried to order a bottle of it when I was in the States last time. And I've had this a while, so the label's peeling off. It's Head and Shoulders Anti-Frizz. You wouldn't think Head and Shoulders would do any kind of decent. This is the best stuff in the world. One of the things about when your hair goes gray is you get a lot of dry hair. Your hair gets really dry. I love this stuff actually better than I like the coconut oil because you can put a little dab in your hair, in your hand, and then just rub it all through the length of it, and it absorbs it. It's like I don't like moisturizers that just sit on the skin, but if you absorb it in and you can feel that it's all absorbed in, that's golden. The other secrets. It does not matter what you shampoo and what you don't shampoo with. You're going to have a good conditioner. I've used all kinds of shampoos. Here, I'm rather limited. I could use Head and Shoulders, which has never worked well for me. I've got, no, I can't even think of I can see the bottle in my mind's eye. It's a turquoise. John Friedman. I've used John Friedman products here. Hey, Aaron Kelly. I've also washed my hair with Aussie, which is what I have now, and a couple other ones. But it's not the shampoo or the conditioner that makes a difference. It's what you're doing. And this is really true for long hair, especially. Shampoo goes here, conditioner goes here. And you do not use any kind of, and I don't blow dry my hair. I don't use any kind of harsh or tiny little combs or anything. I just use, after I've shampooed, I use my wide tooth big comb. These are real cheap. I think Goody makes these. And as I start to dry, as I'm almost dry, I'll use my brush with the hardly any bristles. I don't overbrush it. While it's drying, I'll let it do its own thing. If I have to, I'll just do like this with my fingers. And that's really the only rules there are for long hair. The most important is the shampoo here and the conditioner here. And that's how you did it. And now I'm going to talk about Katie Joy. I don't know if you've all seen all the rumors that have been going around on YouTube and everywhere else. It's been a crazy day already, and it's only 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here. And I'm like, yesterday, the night before, all the Duggar huggers, all the big time Duggar fans had invented some tale about Todd having an illegitimate child or having a child from a first marriage or something named Daniel. Now, I thought that was probably BS because when I knew her well, I'd never known her to talk about Daniel. No, it's like, so we did a little digging and asked a few people, and I don't think it's true. I think this is typical Duggar supporter behavior. They always invent a crazy story about you, and then they try to cudgel you with it. I've had them do it to me. I think the craziest one they invented about me is that I don't live in Costa Rica. Knitter, please. I wish I didn't live in Costa Rica on some days. I wish I could go to the mall and go shopping sometimes. But I'm stuck here. They were saying that I was only staying in a hotel, that my lovely bedroom is my hotel room. I'm going to take that as a compliment because it's relaxing. It's relaxing as well appointed as a good hotel room. It's one of the reasons we bought this house is because it had a large, large bedroom. You can see over my shoulder, I have a dressing room back there. I've got a dressing room. We've got room to put in a sofa and anything else we wanted in this room. It's huge. It's huge and it's multi-parted. Sorry, Asmodee. So anyway, long story short, I don't think that's true. I don't think Todd has another child. I think that's just one of the things they made up, like me living in hotel rooms in Costa Rica. As if I wish, because if I lived in a hotel room, they would be the ones picking up the wet towels that my husband has a tendency to just leave. They would be the ones sweeping, mopping, dusting, not I or anybody I could hire. I wouldn't have to even think about it. So you can know that they're their own different kind of animal. The Duggar supporters, the Duggar fans, they really are. And they are the reason that Jerks for Jesus exists to this day, because I've had so many of them say so many ugly, weird, rude things through the years that it's like, I need a place to put all these nutbags. So that's really where they all are. I'll have to put a link below to Jerks for Jesus so you can read some of the more inane controversies that I've gone through with the Duggar supporters through the years. Okay, the other thing is Katie apparently had some kind of big meeting yesterday, some big hush-hush meeting that she's not talked about. I don't have a clue who it is. There are a couple of contenders for it, but no way of really knowing who it is. So if somebody tells you they know what that meeting was about, they are full of beads. They're full of balonies. So right after this big meeting yesterday, she posted about tomorrow being a new, better day. So I'm going to assume it didn't go well for her. I got up this morning and she had firebombed her Twitter account. She'd taken every tweet down and said it was because she needed an all new everything. So she just wanted a fresh, clean start. Yeah, I don't think so. Because the next thing that happened was she went into her secondary YouTube account, the one that goes by the name Katie Joy Live, and she took every single video down. Okay, that's 2 accounts cleaned out. And I think before the day is over, we're going to see some some very interesting creative removals. I think the meeting yesterday was pretty serious. Who do I think it was? I think there are a couple of contenders. I keep hearing rumbles that ATI, which is what she calls IBLP, which is Gothard's organization, may have sent a cease and desist because she has defamed them quite a lot when she said the things that they believe in that are not necessarily endemic to ATI, that are just cross over denominational bonds and over ministry barriers. She's just laid it all at their feet. Hey, Lisa. The train wreck in Minnesota. I'm talking about the train wreck in Minnesota. One of the things I've discovered is if I talk about the train wreck in Minnesota and I put it as the title, YouTube spanks me and demonetizes a video. So I've learned, and I'm going to have to spread the word, that I have to talk about something legitimate first. And that's fine. I talked about hair care this morning because I always get the most requests for hair care. They want to know how it happened. My hair got so long. And I keep telling people, it's coconut oil. I use a lot of coconut oil on my hair and my skin and everything else. It really is the best thing. So that's the thing everybody wants to know about. So if I talk about the legitimate thing, well, thank you so much, Kitten on the keys. It's not by any crazy thing I'm doing, I don't think, because I think with mast cell and be allergic to so many products, there's such a limited pool that I can use that coconut oil is it. So back to Katie Joy. So she's saying all these things. Well, she's not saying anything. And so obviously she had a meeting yesterday and something went down to make her take down stuff. It could be the ATI. I heard that they were possibly going to sue her or send a cease and desist. I don't know how true that is. I don't have as many contacts anymore in that world as I once did. I heard that the Duggars were going to do the same thing from somebody that I trust. I would say it would make sense that the Duggars and ATI would take action exactly the same time, because she's talking about both of them. She's interchanging what she's saying about both of them. So it would make sense that both of them would coordinate their attack so that each other they're supporting. Hey, Angela. So they're supporting each other with backing up with the stuff that she said and the stuff that they allege about their own selves. So, long story short, I don't know. It could be. I've also heard tell of a rumor saying that the state of Texas is looking at her for obtaining S. Long's medical records. That's always possible too. I've heard that the state of Arkansas federal court is looking at her because of her violation of the rules on the Josh Duggar hearings. She violated both times. I don't know. Lisa, my hair is so dry, I have to use coconut oil. It's coconut oil or nothing. And so many of the products that are out there make me wheeze. I find I do better sometimes with some of the better shampoos. I don't wheeze as much, and better conditioners that I do with other stuff. So coconut oil. It's good for a lot of things. It really is. So it's really good for a lot of things. So who knows with Katie Joy? We may see her firebomb more things as the day goes on. I think it's very curious that she has a meeting and then that happens. I know for a fact that she's been in talks with Tati Westbrook and Tati Westbrook's attorney, trying to hammer out a settlement so they don't refile against her in Minnesota. It would not go well for her there because the laws in Minnesota about journalism and stalking and all these things that they're alleging she did, the defamation laws are a lot stronger in Minnesota than they were in Wisconsin. So even though it would be a federal suit, it would be subject to the laws in Minnesota involving defamation of character and online lynch mobs. And here's the thing. I know I say I'm sick of talking about her because I am. I just am. I'm like, every single freaking day, every day that I think today is the day that we can just go back and ignore her entirely, she does something like that, does something crazy. I had to laugh this morning. Carolyn Ironwell, who I watch, I think really, really, really highly of, did something really funny today. She had put Katie Joy in a curse jar to cause her problems. And apparently she thinks that that's what caused Katie the problems. It could be. I don't know. I don't know too much about those things. But she made me laugh today because she broke the curse jar and let Katie Joy out. So we'll see what happens. We will see. Now, I may not be adverse to a few voodoo dolls with a few pins stuck in them, but with Katie, it could be 1 million situations, too many to count. Why does she ever pop off her mouth about meetings? I guess bait. Yeah, I think that's why she does it. For attention, she likes to play victim really hard. She loves to be the victim and screech that she is being stalked or whatever. And it's gotten kind of old. She's turned into the boy who's cried wolf. And every time she screams victim, the rest of us roll our eyes and say, oh no, not again. Somebody was making me laugh this morning. I can't think who it was on Twitter. They put up a Katie Joy is a victim because, so everybody was supposed to fill in. Katie Joy is a victim because trolls. Katie Joy is a victim because Duggar huggers is what I put. Katie Joy is a victim because they talked about Todd. Who knows? Who knows exactly why Catherine would be considered a victim? She's got all of her victimology down. So, I keep saying we live in very interesting times. This is an unprecedented time, I think. I think we're going to look back at this, and our kids and grandkids are going to look back at this and say, that was really crazy, because of the whole pandemic has really thrown a monkey wrench into so many things. I was telling my husband earlier, I think with the pandemic and the beer virus, take that, YouTube. um, I think that things have changed a lot. I don't think that the work is ever going to come back like it was before. Work environments, it's going to cause a massive shift in that. It already has, I think. More and more people working from home. Everybody's getting to experience what I experienced for 10 years at Pathos, writing. So there's that. I don't know that places are ever going to come back where, like cube farms. I never want to work on a cube farm ever again. I did for a while and it was miserable. I think we're going to see more and more people making up their own way to go about doing things. I'm seeing more and more people making stuff on Etsy and various other places and selling it. Seeing more artists selling their work, even through places like Reddit. So many of us have been stuck home. I'm still stuck home and inside because Costa Rica is undergoing a massive fourth wave right now where we're having all kinds of issues. So we're not allowed to drive or ride in our cars, except for 50% of the time. So I am home. I ran out for a little while today to the bank for something that I could not put off and I could not do online. I had to go in there. But at the same time, I'm seeing in the US is starting to do some reopenings. And what all this means for without a box of Kleenex, who knows? I do know if I was Tati and I was walking through that settlement with her, I would be demanding that play button. I may not take her channel, but I would take her play button. It's symbolic. It's symbolic of a lot of things. She is queen victim. At least she thinks she's queen victim. Here's the thing. You can only scream victim so long before everybody starts to look at you like the boy who cried wolf. And every time you say that, it's like, yeah. Because by the time that I'd finished being friends with her, and I blew it up because she stood me up and then lied about it. And then I found out she had been taking my content for months and months and months. I was pretty sick of her. I had blocked her a couple of times, and she'd come back with a new persona every now and then. Yes, I was talking about that earlier. Kasati, she certainly did. And I don't think the delete spell is over with. I don't know if she'll ever say anything about it. Myself, I deleted a bunch of videos. I did away with my old Twitter. There was something else because I had somebody that was, so I have issues with a troll. I have a scary troll. I'm just going to come out and say it. Scary troll went to the trouble of hiring an attorney in Costa Rica and an attorney in the States to try to sue me. And my Costa Rican attorney looked at that list of stuff they're asking me to delete and stuff and said, do it. This person's nuts. This person is literally nuts. And if you don't comply and we have to go to court, it's just going to cost you a ton of money. So that's what I think might have happened. I mean, it could have been somebody that, oh, thank you. My yarn fund is so happy. Thank you. I'm going to be ordering yarn soon. Constantine, I'm sure the Duggars are not happy with their content. I don't know much, but I do know that Jim Bob Duggar keeps his eye on what's being said about his family. And like I said, when I first started working at Pathos 10 years ago, anytime I used a TLC photo of the Duggars in any way, shape, or form, they got hit with a take that down notice, a copyright notice on me. And I don't think it was TLC because TLC has never said anything with other people using their photos. And we were taught at Pathos that if you're talking about a show or a movie, it's perfectly acceptable to use a clip or a picture from the movie or series. For them to continually go after me and claim copyright over those photos tells me a lot about who Jim Bob Duggar is, just based on the things that were said. He wants to protect the family brand. I don't blame him. Her criticism of his family brand is pretty out there. But some of the things she's said on her lives that she's said about him just blow my mind. The Sun is concerning news, but there's no new concerning news about him. He's tucked away at his, I guess I would almost call it a safe house. He's tucked away. He's with his ankle monitor on at that house. Not going to say the name of the family or their address, unlike her. He's tucked away there. And it's all well and good that he's tucked away there. Thank you, realification. My yarn fun. I love my yarn fun. And thank you guys so much. The girls and the others, it is defamatory. He said things even about the Sun. He has said that, yeah, Lisa, I think what happened though is I think it became too much for him to go after every single little tiny blogger out there or anybody else. He knew I had enough of a national audience and an international audience that he needed to go after me when I was at Pathos. Now there's so many people saying so many things about the Duggars that I think it's kind of like the squeaky wheel gets the grease. The loudest voice is the one that he's looking at. And she has said things in the past. She said that she thinks that Jim Bob molested. I can't say molest on here. Jim Bob did inappropriate coital things to Josh, and that's how he was created. Now, I'm not disputing that Josh may be a victim of SA. He may well be. If you look at the statistics on the type of thing that he's involved in, the guys that do that stuff frequently have been a victim as well. Sometimes that victimization spins into abusing others because that's what you learn to do. But she said this about Jim Bob Duggar, and I would think that he would be livid hearing that. I know that Jim Bob knows that she exists because, like, one time she interviewed Amy Duggar King. She interviewed Amy Duggar King for a long time, and 15 minutes later, Jim Bob was on the phone to Amy, threatening her with a lawsuit if Katie Joy did not take down the video. That happened. And I was still friendly with her then at that point. But that happened. And she said, it was Jim Bob Duggar, according to Amy. So he knows she exists. He knows she's involved with saying all kinds of defamatory things, whether they're true or not. I think she needs to leave the girls alone, even the married girls, because the ones that have been outed as Josh's victims, they really don't need to be piled on. They have a hard road of recovery. Recovery is hard enough when you're not in the media's eye. But to be in the eye of the media and have everybody talking about you when you're trying your damnedest to recover is just scary and kind of off-putting. And I just can't even imagine it. I can't imagine how embarrassed those girls were. The girls right now have a lawsuit going against the initials or less severe terms. Yes, you are right, Melody. They force you to do that. I sometimes forget. She needs to leave everybody alone but Josh. You are exactly right, Real. She does, because he is facing this serious situation. He's supposed to go to trial in July. July is right around the corner. He's right around the corner. I don't know what's going to happen. Here's what I do know about federal charges and the feds. The feds don't charge you and arrest you unless they've already done the grand jury thing and their case is almost solid. The federal judicial system has a 97% rate of conviction. So they keep their mouths shut until the moment that they are ready to arrest you and try you, almost right up to trial, as you can see. I think Josh is going to do some serious time over this. I think he needs to do some serious time. Really, he might try to take a plea deal. I heard that he had been thinking about that he was possibly going to say, you throw himself at the mercy of the court, get a plea deal, try to get a plea deal, and say that he was not responsible for his actions because that his family did not get him legitimate mental health after he had molested after he had done what he'd done to his sisters. I think that that he's going to try that. I think he's just arrogant enough to think he can get off. She does claim to be an advocate for everybody. But here's the thing. You can't really be a real advocate and call others out repeatedly. I mean, just look at her coverage of Anna. Poor Anna Duggar. I feel bad for Anna. I know people are saying they don't, but I know what it's like to be that brainwashed. And she's really believing that by staying with Josh and being the faithful wife through all of this, that she's helping him, that God wants her to do this. I know they're telling her behind the scenes to stand firm and she'll have crowns in heaven. That's what they would tell women in my old church who were dealing with problematic situations, including this exact same situation with spouses. They tell them you're earning crowns in heaven for your faithfulness, for staying by your husband, for not saying anything negative about him. They really believe that. They really believe that you staying with an abusive husband in any way, shape, or form earns you a special place in heaven. An advocate does not get so excited, like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, outing these situations. She has said so many times. It's like when I saw with Josh that Josh had been arrested, I actually said, and this is terrible, but I stand by it. I said, Katie Joy is going to have a spontaneous big O when she hears of this, a spontaneous one. I think, Lisa, that's why I think she is too. That's my opinion of her. When you have that kind of illness, and I've known some people like that in my life. I've known some people in my real life that I'm sure were that particular N-word of mental health. And I'd been through enough of it because I'd turned to my therapist and said, hey, XYZ happened with this person. And I'm just blown away. And my therapist has told me, it sounds like you're dealing with somebody with a narcissistic personality disorder, the N-word, as we like to call it here. And I believe I have been. And it's really difficult if you're dealing with someone with that particular problem, because you never really know where you stand. They keep you off balance. They gaslight you. Anything you say, they save it up on their mental tape recorder, and then they play it back, and it is completely from what it was you originally said to the person. It's completely warped and gross. And I've seen her do that. I've seen her do that so many times to other people. And if she can't get out of it, she just lies. To me, the biggest red flag with that was when her and I had our falling out, and she told all of her followers that her and I had spoken and we were fine. I have yet to hear from her to this day. It's been a year and a week, and I've yet to hear from her once. And I kept the lines of communication open for a full month before I went ahead and blocked her. I just blocked her on everything at that point because I saw she was never going to acknowledge what it was she'd done. She told her people we had talked. We have not talked yet to this day. There was no reckoning for her at all. She never said sorry. She never